Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my reading journey. I hope you're all doing absolutely fantastic and having a great week. Alright, today we're gonna have another reading of final part Marcus Aurelius Meditations. So let's move on. After the preceptorial letter says the others are concerned with domestic events, health and sickness, visits or introductions, birth or death. Thus the emperor writes to his old friend, who had shown some difference in seeking an interview. To my master, I have a serious grievance against you, my dear master. Yet indeed my grief is more than my grievance, because after so long a time I neither embraced you nor spoke to you, though you visited the palace, and the moment after I had left the prince my brother, I reproached my brother severely for not recalling me, nor durst he deny the fault. Ferronta again writes on one occasion, I have seen your daughter. It was like seeing you and Faustina in fancy. So much that is charming her face has taken from each of yours. Or again, at the later date, I have seen your cheeks, most delightful sight that ever I saw in my life, so like you that nothing is more like than the likeness. By the mercy of heaven they have a healthy color and strong lungs. One held a piece of white bread like a little prince, the other a common piece, like a true philosopher's son. Marcus, we know, was devoted to his children. They were delicate in health. In spite of Ferronta's assurance, and only one son survived the father. We find echoes of this affection now and again in the letters. We have summer heat here still, writes Marcus, but since my little girls are pretty well, if I may so say so, it is like the bracing climate. Sorry. The bracing climate of spring to us. When little Faustina came back from the valley of the shadow of death, her father at once writes to inform Ferronta. The sympathy he asks he also gives, and as old age brings more and more infirmity, Marcus becomes even more solicitous for his beloved teacher. The poor old man suffered a heavy blow in the death of his grandson, on which Marcus writes, I have just heard of your misfortune, feeling grieved, as I do when one of your joints gives you pain. What do you think I feel, dear master, when you have pain of mine? The old man's reply, in spite of a certain self-consciousness, is full of pathos. He recounts with pride the events of a long and upright life, in which he has wronged no man and lived in harmony with his friends and family. His affectations fall away from him as the cry of pain is forced from his heart. Many such sorrows has fortune visited me with all my life long. To pass by my other affections, I have lost 5 children under the most pitiful conditions possible. For the 5 I lost one by one when each was my only child, suffering these blows of bereavement in such a manner that the child was born to one already bereaved. Thus I ever lost my children without solace, and got them amidst fresh grief. The letter continues with reflections of the nature of death, more to be rejoiced at than bewailed. The younger one dies, and an arrangement of providence, not without dignity, wrung from him, as it were, by this last culminating misfortune. It concludes with this swimming up of his life and protest against the blow which has fallen on his grey head. From my long life, I have committed nothing which might bring dishonor, or disgrace, or shame, no deed of avarice, or treachery have I done. Have I done in all my days, nigh, but much generosity, much kindness, much truth, and faithfulness have I shown, often at the risk of my own life. I have lived in amity with my good brother, whom I rejoice to see in possession of the highest office by your father's goodness, and by your friendship at peace and perfect rest. The offices which I have myself obtained I never strove for by any underhand means. I have cultivated my mind rather than my body. The pursuit of learning I have preferred to increasing my wealth. I prefer to be poor rather than bound by any man's obligation, even to want rather than to beg. I have never been extravagant in spending money. I have earned it sometimes because I must. I have scrupulously spoken the truth, and have been glad to hear it spoken to me. I have thought it better to be neglected than to fawn, to be dumb than to feign, to be seldom a friend than to be often a flatterer. I have so little deserved not little. So far as I could, I have assisted each according to my means. I have given help readily to the deserving, fearlessly to the underserving. No by providing to be ungrateful has made me more slow to bestow promptly all benefits I could give, nor have I ever been harsh to ingratitude. A fragmentary passage follows in which he appears to speak of his desire for a peaceful end and the desolation of his house. I have suffered long and painful sickness, my beloved Marcus. Then I was visited by pitiful misfortunes. My wife I have lost. My grandson I have lost in Germany. Woe is mine. Woe is me. I have lost my Decimanus. If I were made of iron at this time, I could write no more. It is noteworthy that in his meditation Marcus Aurelius mentions Fronto only once. All his literary studies, his oratory and criticism, such as it was, is forgotten. And says he, Fronto told me not to expect natural affection from the highly born. Fronto really said more than this, that affection is not a Roman quality, nor has it a Latin name. Roman or not Roman, Marcus found affection in front. And if he outgrew his master's intellectual training, he never lost touch with the true heart of the man. It is that which Fronto's name brings up to his remembrance, not dissertations on compound verbs or Farios' criticism of style. Alright, guys, we've done with the final part, with the it was the appendix part. You see another part which is notes. Alright, that just describes the text of this box. Alright, guys. Seems there is nothing to read here, and we're officially done with Marcus Aurelius Meditations, and I'm gonna choose another book. Alright, thank you for joining me today. See you tomorrow with the next book. Thank you. Bye.